The big question that we all want the answer to, but it's just never that simple. How do we grow our jujitsu school? How do we grow our martial arts school? And I wish the answer was simple. I wish I could just give you one sentence kind of easy thing you can do that would just turn everything around and get you 100 more students. But unfortunately, or fortunately, that's not really the case. What we need to do to grow our school is we need to create a much larger system that can grow our gym on autopilot, something that can run our sales system, something that can attract leads and get them in our doors. So, what I'm going to share with you is an overview of the system I've identified that helps grow jiu-jitsu schools, that helps grow martial arts schools. So, I'm going to scroll down here and we're going to see this diagram. So this is a visual representation of what is going to create more students for your gym. So we're going to start with this inner circle here, which is really just our sales system, right? Our leads need to be nurtured properly, right? We need to be able to take our leads and move them through our sales process, our sales system, meaning that we need to get our leads to answer our messages, to book trial classes, to show up to those trial classes, and then to sign up for those trial classes. Once we have that down, we then need to automate that process. And we'll go into why automation is so important. But once we automate it, then we just need to refine it. Refining it is easy. Once we have everything in place, building the system is the hardest. But once everything's in place, we just need to look at the data. And the data will tell us what knobs we need to turn, what's working, what's not, what needs to be changed, what doesn't need to be touched at all. And when we have a process like this, it's going to lead to more leads. Why? Because when we're able to sign up students consistently and efficiently, get them through our sales process onto the mats and training and loving our gym and loving our culture, it's going to do two things for us. One, it's going to generate us more awareness. And awareness is going to create more organic traffic. So the more people that train, the more people that are aware of our gym, aware of our culture, the more people that go out there and tell their friends, hey, this is what I do, this is where I do it. And then people start to hear about you. They start to look up on Google your gym. They start to find their own way to your gym. And then when they do that, they become a lead. The second thing that happens when we have a good sales system in place is it's going to generate us more money, right? When we have more students on the mat, when we have more paying members, we're going to have more money. And when we have more money, we can afford to pay for traffic, which is really just advertising, right? We have the money, we have the budget to pay for traffic. And when we can pay for traffic, we can pay to get people to go to our site to fill out our form. What are we doing? We're creating more leads. So, this is a general overview of the process. And I'm not going to go into every single thing on this sort of diagram here. What I am going to do is I'm going to talk about what I think is the most important part to this entire thing, and that is your sales system. So we started with nurture, right? We have to be able to nurture and take a lead from just a lead and bring them all the way to a sign up. So how do we do that? What does a nurture process look like? And I have here what I call the lead nurture loop. The lead nurture loop is just a framework or a visual representation of what a process is going to look like when you actually build it out. So every process is going to start with a trigger. That trigger is going to provoke an action or a response from us. And that action is going to create an outcome. So, what do I mean by all that? Well, let's look at a general example, right? Let's say somebody fills out your contact form, fills out your free trial form on your website, right? That form submission is going to trigger something, right? So, form submission is the trigger. What is that trigger? Well, that's what we're going to build, right? What is the action you are going to perform? When somebody fills out that form, What do you do? Personally, I'm going to send them a text message. I'm going to confirm that we got their submission, and then I'm going to ask them a question based on what they filled out. So if somebody filled out a form for adult trial classes, I'm going to ask them when are they available, morning or evening times, depending on our schedule, right? Versus if somebody filled out a form for youth classes, I might start by asking, how old is your child? Do they have any experience? And once we do that, right, that sort of action, right, we perform our action, there's going to be outcomes, right? So, what is the outcome of me messaging that person that filled out my form? Well, I want the outcome to be that they book a trial class, right? Maybe we go back and forth with them. They need some more answers to some questions like pricing, where are you located, what should I expect, etc. But once we get through all that, the ideal outcome for me is that they book a class time, right? They book a trial class. Another outcome could be that I send that message and they don't answer us, right? They don't even acknowledge our text. They never get back to us. So, two totally different outcomes. And what those outcomes really are just triggers for new actions. So, if somebody books a trial time or a class time, my next action would be to send them appointment reminders, right? I need to keep pushing them through my sales system. Just because they book a trial doesn't mean I stop. I still need to get them to the trial. On the other end, if somebody doesn't answer our messages, right, that's the outcome. My next action would be to follow up with them. And now that is in itself is going to create new outcomes. So you can see this waterfall effect of how we build out a much bigger process. And when you build out a process like this, there's really no reason for you to be losing your leads to any kind of negligence. All your leads are going to be accounted for and tracked, and you're going to know exactly where they're at in your system and what needs to happen next, most importantly. So once you build this out, once you get it down, once you have the things in place that you like to perform, like your actions, and you understand your outcomes, you then need to automate it. And why is automation so important? Because when we look at the lead conversion curve, we can see that more conversions happen when the wait time is shorter. So, what does that mean? Wait time means the time it takes for you to perform your actions. So, if somebody fills out a form for a free trial class and I send them a text message within the first 60 seconds, right? That's a super short, tight window for me to perform my action. But when I do that, the chances of them actually responding to me and booking a trial class, right, go up significantly. Versus if I wait an hour, 2 hours, a whole day, 2 days, or even longer, well, the chances of them answering me and converting and moving on to that next stage in the sales system is extremely low. And we need to continue this short wait time. We need to continue responding to leads, sending them reminders, following up with our actions in as small of a time as possible. Because when we can do this consistently throughout our entire sales system, you're going to see that your conversion rate is going to skyrocket because now we are building momentum within a lead. They are answering our messages faster. They are booking trial times sooner. They are actually showing up to their class. And if they aren't answering us, well, we're following up with them more consistently and more timely. And we're nurturing them and trying to turn them back into a warm lead. And that is only possible when we are on top of it, when we're on top of our actions, when we're performing them in a short and efficient amount of time. And the truth is, you can't do this by yourself. It's just not really possible. Even if you have a good team, right? That team is still human. They still get distracted. They still need to go home and rest or whatever. So when you can automate your system, you automate your process, everything happens as fast as possible, as efficiently as possible, without any extra effort on your part. In fact, it actually takes away work from you, which is great. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like having to text leads that haven't answered me. I like teaching class, I like being on the mats. So when you have a process that can work for you and work efficiently for you, that is what's really going to grow your gym. And that is the backbone because so many people think that what they need to grow is more leads, and they're not wrong, right? But how are we getting those leads to convert? How are we getting them to sign up? And until you can answer that question in a really detailed way, and until you really know your process inside and out and have it automated, you should not be focusing on generating more leads or paying for ads or paying for Google ads or whatever. You need to be focusing on creating a sales system that works for you. So I hope this helps you grow your gym. If you got value out of this video, please give me a like and subscribe below. It really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next video.